crafters, I'm here today with our very last drill with me for Snow White. We're going to completely finish Snow White today, and to give you an idea of everything I have done between now and our last drill with me, let me move the camera and I'll show you that I fully finished her arms, the Snow White banner, and I did the top of her dress, the collar of her dress. Now, I have one pet peeve so far about this diamond painting. I really like it, but this popped up and I'm going to share it with you. I don't like how the banner is the exact same color as her arms. I wish that was a little different. In the picture, it's a bronze and gold color, and I wish that was a little bit different. If I ever got to the point where I had more drills and I could maybe change the background color, I would. But I still love this canvas. Just wish that was different. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can see everything's done. She's fully done. Give you a full view, except this face. Let's go ahead and get started on the face. I'm determined to get all of this done today, preferably in one drill with me, but we'll see. I put the baby down for a nap and he's been a little fussy today. So we'll see how long I can go for. If not, I will cut the video off and we will continue this later. I might have to finish with a nighttime drill with me, but we'll see. What is this in her hair? Pop these out. I'm gonna go ahead and I am gonna start with this V. We have a lot of this in her hair. V is DMC 796. Let me write that down and pour it in the tray so you can get a really good view. Oh, it's like a beautiful blue-violet color. There's definitely hints of purple in this, and I'm not sure how well it's going to come across. But it's a dark blue and there's some shades of violet in there. It's going to look really nice on her hair. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to work from the bottom up. Here we go. Let's see. Hopefully we can get this all done today. We're still doing the voting for what princess we're going to do next. The voting will end Friday night. If you haven't voted yet, make sure that you get a chance to get your input. I have tallied the votes so far. I mean, at the as I'm getting comments, I keep a little chart of who got what vote, and there's a front runner. I mean, it seemed like for a while that they were tied 50-50. There is a front runner. I don't want to tell you right now because I want, if you haven't seen that video yet, go and check it out and vote for the princess that you're interested in. I don't want to kind of say one princess's name and, oh, I didn't have anything on that one, and possibly influence your vote. But go ahead and check it out. Still taking comments, still taking votes for that, and I'm getting really, really excited for that, for starting our next princess. The way the schedule is going to go is I'm going to put up this drill with me, and then we're going to be gone on vacation. And I hope to film some videos on vacation. I'm not sure how it's going to go, and show you a bit of just if I find, oh, that drill was on the wrong way. If I find a great place, I can show you a bit of it, or kind of the chaos of what it's like traveling with 3 kids, 4 and under. Not bringing the dog on the trip. Not bringing the dog. He's going to stay here in Tunis, so that helps. But it's always a circus whenever we go anywhere. And of course, we're trying to travel as light as we can, but when you have 3 kids, one is a baby, and 2 adults, it's, you know, it's always, our traveling light is not what it used to be before we had kids, when we could just pack everything in a backpack. But that's how, I think, oh, there's a hair here. I don't know if that's on screen. Dog hair. Oh, Axel sees a cat. There's a cat in the yard. You hear how ferocious he is? He's gonna wake that baby up. Let me take a break. Okay, I opened up the front door so he could go into the yard and bark and chase the cat. I just wanted to get back to drilling, so I left the door open. If you could hear him, he's out there still barking, trying to defend his garden, his house. And the door is open, so I also need to keep an eye out at the door because these stray cats are aggressive. They will walk into your house. It has happened before, and yesterday I was putting, my kids were all outside, I was putting them in the car to go somewhere, and I saw the cat, and I had the door open because I was loading up the car, loading up the kids, and I turned around, and I couldn't see the cat anymore. So I had to come in the house and check the house to make sure the cat didn't come in before I left and locked everything up. The cat didn't, but that was actually something that, you know, here with the street cats, the street animals, I had to check. Because that would have been a really, a big surprise when we got back. And it doesn't sound like he woke the baby up. So the baby is sleeping and doing good. But yeah, gosh, after his barking, I don't even remember where I was. But okay, so I think the schedule of traveling. I want to try and keep you guys up to date on the cool places I go and what I see and any fun craft shops or anything like that that I can encounter. So maybe I'll be able to put a video up. I will put up the post-stitch video for February, the February yarn club that I get. And besides that, you know, I'm always available in comments and emails. Might be a quiet week. And then when we get back, the princess that receives the most votes, I'm gonna get started right away. I mean, we went out of town to the beach for 2 days this past weekend, and when I got home, the one thing I wanted to do was get back to work on Snow White, and I missed my diamond painting. I've gotten some really good suggestions on how to travel better with a diamond painting. You guys have been letting me know that even just using Ziploc bags would be a really good way to travel with a diamond painting, and I'm considering that for our summer travel road trip through the US, but probably not on this trip, even though I did go through the diamond paintings that I've ordered since I started this adventure, and I kind of looked of like, would this be small enough to take with me? Should I bring this? Should I bring that? And then realistically, I was like, nah, I shouldn't. I mean, we're gonna stay in Dublin for the first 2 nights, and the cost of hotels in Dublin were, I mean, expensive. You know, it's a big city, so it's to be expected that it'd be a little more, I mean, it's a big international city, so it'd be a little more expensive there. But we had a hard time finding a place where we could have all of us in the same hotel room. And it was looking like with some of the bigger hotels, we would have to book 2 hotel rooms. And when we're talking down in the city, you know, anywhere from like $120 to $180 per room per night, and this is dollars, that was really going to add up. And then some of them did not offer free parking because we looked at like Airbnbs or more independent local hotels, but no free parking. So then we'd have to pay to park our rental car in the city. Anyways, we found a place. It's a little bit outside the city, so we'll just drive in. That has a family room, so a larger room, but I think 3 beds and a crib for the baby. It's all gonna work out, but I was just like, oh, if I take my diamond painting with me and I'm doing that on the desk, you know, it just takes one time. The baby walks by with his hand, pulls it down if there's drills, if I don't clean it up, and it's everywhere. So I decided not to bring it. But that is the first thing I'm going to do when I get back. Start on the princesses. I will bring some knitting with me. I told you I have so many friends that are pregnant right now. So I'm going to bring one of the chevron baby blanket, the one that's always pretty high up on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. It was actually put out by a really good knitting store. I'm going to say it incorrectly since it's not in front of me, like eSpace, Tricot, something very similar to that. And I've mentioned it before in a drill with me. I'm working on another one of those, and I'm working on a gift for someone for when we leave Tunisia. So I actually am not talking about that one on drill with me's or any of my videos, since it's a gift that they don't know about. I'm trying to keep that one a surprise. But I'll bring both of those with me, and I'll end up coming back with countless skeins of yarn. I really need to keep it in check. Like, I'm just not gonna have enough space for all the souvenirs I want to come back with. She's looking really good. That dark violet. I'm now gonna go to the top of her head and the other side. And I don't know, I'm sure you can hear in the video, Axel is still outside barking, which tells me that cat is, and it's one of 2 cats, or one of 3 cats that really mess with him, that the cat is probably sitting either on the wall or in the tree of our yard. And just looking down at him. I think it's a female cat, I'm not sure. Just looking down at him, reminding him, like, I'm up here, you can't get me. Had a really good suggestion from, in my comments of the past video too, from Susan, and I'm gonna take her suggestion. So when I do the next drill with me's, I'm gonna go and get a few of those, like, about me, 40 question, like all of those, and I'm gonna answer some of those for each drill with me. And I'm gonna try and I went looking today, and I found a few that I really liked. Some were just simple questions like, what's your height, what's your hair color, what's your eye color. Others had silly questions of, would you rather eat this or that for the rest of your life? And I could talk a lot about food. I'm such a foodie. When we travel, I'm looking forward to the different foods we'll eat. And I wanted to try and find one with more like longer questions or something craft and travel themed. Since we travel so much, I feel like if you could possibly be an expert at traveling with kids, that we are very close to being experts. It's not that we're just perfect at it. I feel that we have just had so many errors, so many things go wrong when traveling with the kids, that we've just learned the best way over time to handle our group. And if you think that like, oh gosh, I wonder what could have happened, or I wonder like how they got to that point. Our first plane trip in 2016 to Tunisia, it was only like the 3rd time that the twins had ever been on an airplane. They were 2 years old. They were sleep deprived, crying their heads off. And one of the stewardesses or stewards on the plane, the flight attendant, said, well, if you can't get them to stop crying, we will turn the plane around. And we were like, oh my goodness, really? I mean, they're just babies and they're just crying. It was a very, very stressful plane ride. So we have learned a lot from our traveling experiences. Okay, we are all done with 796V. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. And Axel's back. He's actually sitting in the chair behind me, so I'm gonna go and close the front door so none of the cats come in. Taking a break. Okay, I'm back. We have done all of the dark V drills. Now I want to go ahead and do this do not enter symbol, and that is actually number 41, but it is DMC 3842, and I've kept it in this plastic bag. I'm now saving every little plastic bag that has those little zipper shut, pinch set shut pieces to it. Spilled one on the canvas, so let me get that. Oh. When the canvas is like almost completely done, and you drop a drill, and you gotta look really close to find it. Here we go, that's enough to get us started. Great. Those are really nice together. Those, they're, a couple DMC numbers off from each other, but they look really good. So I'm going to try and do some about me questions. That led me into telling you about a bad flight we had where they said they would turn the plane around if our kids did not stop crying. I want to say, in my defense, in my husband's defense, it was the worst flight of our lives too. Not just because the kids were crying and screaming, but so they were 2 years old. So they could not be lap babies. They had to have their own ticket, their own seat. And they were like 2 years and 2 weeks. So still tiny little things. And they were sleep deprived. They couldn't sleep on the airplane. It wasn't going well. And we tried to comfort them. We tried to hold them in our laps and get them to calm down, rock them. But the flight attendants were saying no, that we are not allowed to do that since they had their own seat, that at that point they could not sit on our laps. And at times the fasten seatbelt light was on. We weren't having turbulence in the air, but the fasten seatbelt light was on. And then when that happened, they said that we couldn't even lean over and comfort them in any way. Like we had to technically completely stay in our seat, our seated area. So at those times, the kids were just really upset, crying loudly because I couldn't even bend down or bend to the side to put my arms around them. That was not allowed. It was bizarre. I've never been on a flight like that since then, where I couldn't even put my arm around a crying baby. I think it made the situation that much worse because they were pulling on us and crying, and in this half awake, half asleep, almost daydream, night terror kind of scream. And when we would go and try and comfort them, we would get yelled at, and then we were told that they would turn the plane around if we couldn't get them under control. And it's just like, how do we get them under control when you're not even letting us comfort them? It was, the worst flight of our lives. I have purposely avoided flying that airline since then. I will try to do whatever I can to avoid that airline. I'm not going to be negative and put anybody's I'm not going to be negative and say who it was. But that flight we learned a lot on. Here's a bad drill. I don't get that many bad drills, but it's like the bad drills kind of have the extra plastic on the side. They're not dingy and they don't have holes in the tops. But that one is a bad one. It's a bad drill. And then since that flight, because we have traveled a lot being in Tunisia, we've gotten better and better. They had a large twin stroller, and we got to the point where we'd get to the gate, break the stroller down into multiple pieces, put it in a stroller bag, get the stroller bag to the bottom of the tarmac, get the kids on the plane, hook the car seats up. We can do it as simple, as easy as snapping our fingers. So we've had a lot of experience. Always, we improve because of like a bad experience, but traveling with kids is interesting. We're at a really good spot right now where the older kids, oh, another bad Joe. If you can see it, it's a little extra plastic. The older kids, they enjoy flying. They've done it so much, it's not really that big of a deal to when we say to them that, you know, you're going to be off plane for 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. They're like, oh, okay. It's not this this big thing that we have to like mentally start preparing them for or be worried about. It's not. When I say it's not a big deal, I mean in the sense that they're not freaked out about it. It's just normal to them. Makes it really easy. We're starting to get to the point where the baby is no longer sleeping the whole plane ride, and the baby takes like a nap, an hour and a half nap every day, and that's it. We are done with this color. I'm going to take a story break, and then I'm going to put the last one for her hair, and oh, I have 2 more for her hair. This is number 6, I believe. All right, I gotta put my drills in the plastic bag. There we go. Actually, wow, that's all the number 6 I have. I don't have very many of those. These blank ones were for my 310s. I used up the first bag of 310s that I had. So the baby is at a point where, you know, he's awake the majority of the day. So we gotta kind of re-enter the constant entertainment phase on a plane where, you know, you gotta keep the baby just entertained. Toys, left and right, toys, snacks. He's at the point where he'll hold a crayon and color on a sheet of paper. So it's going to be interesting. This flight, we're transiting in, our layover is in Frankfurt. And I like Frankfurt a lot. For the airport, it's massive. So it's a lot of walking, but I find it to be easy. There's lots of food places to grab a coffee and quickly run along, or you can either sit down. Oh, I put 3 on my 3 spacer, but there's not 3 together. You know, somewhere you can grab some food and sit down for a little bit longer. There's airport hotels, which we have, you know, we once were delayed. We missed a flight. Well, no, actually, we didn't miss the flight. We were on the tarmac. The flight was delayed. We got into Frankfurt, and we had a 9-hour layover. So you can go into the airport hotel, which helps. And my favorite thing about Frankfurt, and we're done with 6, so I'm gonna put it in. Oh, I didn't show you. I don't know if I showed you the last one too. So I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm just chatting. 6 is actually a really dark blue. It has probably some hints of black. It's really, looks really good in her hair. My absolute favorite thing about Frankfurt is every single airport terminal has a playground. Every single one. Some are smaller playgrounds for little babies. Others are like a large 2-story climbing all around kind of playground. And when it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes for the flight. Having the playground that the kids can go and play on during the layover is really great. And I love the airport for that. They're also very kid-friendly. Oh, oh my gosh, I missed some 6s down here. I was just talking, and I missed a bunch of 6s. I'm gonna pick them out. Yeah, so I'm excited to be transitioning through Frankfurt. I think I mentioned on my last Joe with me, they have McDonald's. I have barely looked at our tickets, and I think we have like a 4-hour layover, maybe a 6-hour layover. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna eat McDonald's. The things you miss when you're overseas. Last, for her hair, we're gonna do this U-turn symbol up top. There's some on the side of her face and the top of her hair. It is DMC number 3760. And it's kind of like a, I'd say like a dark sea blue. It's coming across pretty well on camera as it is on the tray. Let's get started with it. I need to then, with our trip, I need to check how long the flight from Frankfurt to Ireland is, because I would think that would be longer than 2.5 hours, but I'm not sure, so I need to look into that. The older kids, they're gonna be totally fine. I actually went to the grocery store today and they had kid scratch art, and they have these like little, you know, little paper kits to keep the kids busy. Some are educational, and I really love looking at the educational ones, but they're mostly in French. French is not something the girls can read, so I didn't pick any of those up, but they had these like little cardboard dolls with some stickers, clothing stickers and accessory stickers. I picked that up for them. They actually had this really nice pack of paper dolls that I thought about getting, because I remember having paper dolls as a kid, but then I realized I just didn't think I'd have to buy like 2 packs, and then I realized that it's going to be mommy who's on the plane, or daddy, but more than likely mommy who's on the plane having to punch out all the paper doll pieces, and I was like, oh, let me give them something else they can handle a little better. So I got them the little doll sticker books. So they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine on the plane. So I'm packing a bunch of stuff for the baby to play with. Next, for her face, I'm just gonna start around the edges and work my way kind of in color-wise. So I wanted to start with F. We've seen F before. It is DMC 721. And we will go ahead and get started. F was actually a lot in the banner, and they had it in her hands as well, and up close on her neck, like kind of the shadow from the underneath of her jaw. That's all F. So I'm packing toys for the baby. Like right now, I've always got the good backups, my keys and my cell phones. Those are like my last resort go-to kind of things. He doesn't watch anything on the cell phone, but he does like holding it up to his ear and being like, hello, hello, pretending that he's on the phone. And the keys, he likes jingling them and making noise. So got that, got a few snacks, some stuffed animals. We'll conquer this. Something I know I haven't mentioned, but about traveling, I am a nervous flyer. I don't like to fly. We do it so much, but every time it's just, I have to work my way up to it. Like, okay, we're gonna go, gotta get on the plane. I get nervous. I like sitting on the aisle. I don't sit at the window. I don't open up and look out the window to see the world passing by. I don't do any of that. I just stare straight ahead, talk to the family that's with me, play with the kids, and that's it. I don't even like getting up and walking around on an airplane. I'll get up and go to the bathroom, but besides that, I won't. I would never kind of just walk around to stretch my legs, even though like I'm really tall and I need to stretch my legs. I'm weird about that. I don't like flying. Next, I did all the F's really fast. Since her face is small, it's going to go pretty quickly. I'm going to do H. It's also in the same row. It is DMC 721. Or I'm sorry, 722. Those lined up really nicely. If you hear another sound that's coming through on the camera, Axel is now completely exhausted from chasing the cat. So he is sitting behind me, snoring loudly. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't come off, but he is like sawing down a tree back there, like he's got that little pug thing. He just snores when he sleeps. Axel is not coming with us this time. He is going to stay here in Tunis with a friend, which actually, it works pretty well. Him and the dog that we dog sit for, they're like best buds. They play all day, take these long naps, chase cats together. So he'll stay. He's a pretty good flyer. It has been more than a year since he's done kind of the like 8.5, 9.5 long haul flight, because he's getting older and we try to make sure if we travel with him, it's really absolutely necessary. But he does it really well. He's small enough that he can go in cabin in one of the soft dog crates right under the chair. And he does get a little, we've had people say like, oh, I didn't even know there was a dog there. But he gets a little kind of nervous. He gets that chihuahua thing. And when he gets in his dog bag, he kind of shakes a little bit. If you've ever seen like a chihuahua getting scared, they just shake a bit. And I open up the little pouch, and throughout the flight, I give him some treats, and he relaxes. Sometimes he doesn't take the treat because he switches over into pug mode, and he just falls asleep. It's a dark space with white noise and underneath there, and he just zones out. We try to avoid having to put him down in cargo. We just think, even though with him under the seat, it's another thing we have to carry, it just seems like it's really best for him being with the family, and in a way easier for all of us because we're not worrying about the dog being in cargo and how's the dog. We have him right there with us. We never ever take him out on the plane. He's not totally in love with the crate, so if we took him out, I just don't think he'd want to get back in. But I guess like some people take their dogs out. Brought him on a plane once. I'm gonna do this flower. We're gonna do this flower. Where is that flower shape? Where is it? Here you go. Flower is DMC 3824. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We brought him on a plane one time. Oh, leftover gel. And one of the attendants was like, okay, but he cannot come out of his crate. Do you understand? You can't take your dog out of the crate for any reason. And I'm like, don't worry. I have no interest. Like, he's not going to come out of this crate. That would just not be easy to put him back in. So just based on their reaction, that makes me think like people probably have their dogs in the crate and then take the dog out for some reason. I just know Axel would never go back in. He'd want to be like, hey guys, how are you? Can I sit on your lap? He wouldn't want to go back in and miss out on all the fun. But yeah. I'm so looking forward to buying yarn in Ireland. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be all really fancy yarn too. I bet it's beautiful. I bet it's absolutely gorgeous there. Oh. See how good I am with that 3-spacer? I didn't even need to correct that. Which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm surprised at how fast we did Snow White. I'm going to have to take a look back on the date of the first drill with me and today's date, because even if the baby wakes up right now, I will just film later tonight. We'll try and make my light better to do it. Oh, I missed an H. I'm actually going to put it in right now because I just want to do it while I notice it. Snow White will be done today, and then I can pack and get ready for the trip. Focus on that. And told you guys I was bringing some crafts. I have a book. I have a book that I've been trying to read on many vacations. It is a Philippa Gregory book, and it's called The White Princess. And it came out in 2013. And I really enjoy Philippa Gregory books. They're, you know, I guess historical romance with a little bit, I mean, she researches, so, you know, there's actual events in there, but obviously you don't know, like, what the people would say to themselves and how they handled each situation. Anyways, I really like her books. They've actually been turned into some Showtime series. I have had this book with me for years. This book has gone on many vacations with me, and I have never gotten the chance to actually pop it open and read. And I'm thinking, if I'm bringing it to Ireland, maybe I'll read it on the plane, but I am determined. I'm going to finish this book. It's like sitting there every single day. I see it sitting on the bookshelf. So I'm looking forward to that. If you've already read it, no spoilers, please. But yeah, I think I want to read it. I got my bee in a bonnet to read it because I started watching on YouTube a Tudor's history documentary. And just to like quickly backtrack before I start going on and on about this documentary, like I'm at a point now where I don't really watch the standard channels anymore. I don't watch, being overseas obviously affects that a little bit too. We have access to TV, but like I don't watch Fox and NBC and ABC and I think CBS. Like I don't watch that stuff as much anymore. I watch Hulu, Netflix, and now YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. If I'm not watching a creator, I'm checking out like a documentary series that either like the BBC put up or different news site organization. That just goes to show, like, man, I love YouTube. So I'm watching, I think I put in, I don't even remember what I found it under. Like Tudor documentary series. And she wasn't Tudor, but I watched the one, I think it was called like The 9 Days Queen. I watched one about Lady Jane Grey. And then that one finished and rolled over into one about Queen Elizabeth. And now I'm watching this one about Queen Elizabeth. And this was like a BBC mini series, so they're in 1 hour increments. So, you know, I watch a few minutes when I can and work my way through. So I watched those. Or I watched the Lady Jane Grey one. I'm working on the Queen Elizabeth one. So that's probably why I'm so hyped up to actually read this book on vacation. I really like the look of her, back to Snow White, sorry, of Snow White's dress and the stained glass look. Her face is kind of doing the same, where the DMCs are really close to each other to try and blend as best as they can. It's difficult to do that with a face and a diamond painting, but I think it's looking pretty good. And if I get the tray off her face, you can see, because I'm done with this flower one. I'm gonna put this flower one up. Next, let's do R. R color is like a light, very light peach. There you go. Looks good. Try and do my 3 spacer because there's quite a bit of 3 spots here. There we go. Oh, that one. Okay, that one's on me. I didn't have that one lined up that well. I reached out to the YouTuber Rachel Ray, and she is a great creator. She's been doing YouTube for a while, and I spent a lot of time watching her videos. It's like not only does she have YouTube, she has Facebook groups that she monitors where she's like promoting and assisting and just being really great, helping others with crafting and really just being like a great supporter of others. And she's doing a diamond painting business, she's creating her own diamond painting pens. She's got that business going. So I had a suggestion from someone of like, you know, she's in Ireland, you should reach out to her. And I have, and we've made contact, and I don't know the geography of Ireland that well. I'm hoping that we're getting close enough that maybe we can meet up somewhere. And she told me she can give me some really good ideas of some great craftsy places to check out. So I'm hoping that works out too. This is going to be a really great vacation. It's, vacation / husband and his work and all this stuff, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, right now, our life, and I've said, like, it's just consumed with the move. And I did more packing today. I got about 3 boxes packed up. So having something else to look forward to has been really nice. But, yeah, it's getting closer. I still don't have a leave date, but I think I'm going to be maybe leaving sometime around the 2nd week of April. It's going to be so hard to say goodbye. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, that's coming up. And this vacation is like the chance to take my mind off of that and not think about the move, which is helpful. I mean, you know, it's very exciting. It's so exciting in this life. We join the Foreign Service. We take on this life. We know that we're going to be living everywhere and we're going to be moving every couple of years. You know, it's just when you develop roots and the kids have school and they make friends. Try to keep very positive about all of it. I think I might need some wax because that's like the 2nd or 3rd time I tried to put a drill on my pen and it just didn't stick. So there we go. I want to go. I'm at that stage now. Baby's been asleep for probably, or been tossing and turning and then asleep for at least 30 minutes now. I never have the most accurate thing because I stopped the camera because of the cat, so I don't have an accurate thing of how long I've been recording. Maybe 45 minutes, or not 45, but yeah. Like danger. Not danger, like warning. You don't have that much longer to diamond paint. The baby could be awake. Her face is coming along really well. Again, it's a small space, so it's going quickly. Yeah. You can see kind of how these nice like peaches and oranges are blending together. This has really been a nice canvas to work on. It's an easy canvas to work on. It was intimidating when I was organizing the drills, but since I've started and then breaking it down into the sections of each princess, it's gone well. I mean, I have not done many diamond paintings and it's really cool to think I've gone to the point where I'm doing a 70 by 100. And I got an extra drill there, we go. And I'm gonna check, I think that was all of the R's on her face, yep. So we're gonna put R away. And the next one, we will move to that star color. Let me see. Which one is the star? The star, okay, here we go. DMC 948. And taking a look inside, it's like a light tan. Or cream. It's coming across really well on camera as what it looks like in the tray. Oh, but I didn't line that up well. That's not very good for the 3s. Come on. There we go. That's a little bit better. I was watching the Dreamers design video that they have on their website. I loaded their website to check out what canvases they have. And it looked like in their picture they were doing a square. You know, if you go to their website, I was on their mobile device. It had like an intro video about them and about diamond painting. And the tray that they were working with was perfectly lined up. Every single drill was perfectly in a row on the tray. I was like, my goodness, how did they do that? I mean, they're there talking about the benefits of diamond painting and stress reliever and helps with anxiety. And it's so calming and it's a peaceful thing and you're crafting, you're creating. And I'm just like, look at how well they can line that drill up. My goodness. I want to get to that point. I'm telling you, if you check out the video, every single drill was like in this perfect line. And they might have been squares. I don't know if it's easier to line squares up than round drills. You know what? Let me move that because you don't want to look at the tray. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just have the tray on her face. You don't want to look at that. You want to look at her face. Wow. Oh my gosh, we're so close to being done with Cinderella. Okay, let's do... I want to end with her eyes because those are pretty blue. So let's do the mouth next. The lips are number 4. Number 4 turns into DMC 304. And this is a really, really beautiful red. We don't need this many, but here we go. Nice dark red, looking really good on camera as it does on the tray. I don't have many of them to do, so even though there's some spots of 3, I'm going to use my 1 spacer. There you go. That one went pretty quick. The next red we have is kind of the 2 tilted squares next to each other. I'm just going to pick those right out because there's only 3. It is 891 DMC code. Nice red. Looks pretty good on camera as it does in the drill case. Oh, come on. I don't know. There's only 3 of this one. Let me get the last one on there. Going to go ahead and finish off her mouth by doing, oh, touch the camera, sorry about that, bumped it, by doing these 2 wavy lines. She also has them in each eye. So I'm going to do them for the mouth and the eye, and I'm just going to pick them out of the container. The 2 wavy lines is DMC 5200. pearly white teeth. Beautiful smile. Beautiful smile, Snow White. There we go. 7 drills left. And we are done with Snow White. I'm just going to pick them out from here. Next, I'm going to do the letter T, and that is 775. This is one that we had in her dress that we got to see a little bit. Come on. There we go. It always seems like a good idea when I say I'm going to pick it right out of the box. There we go. Okay, last 3 drills, and our last drill color, number 7, which is 597. These are going to be her eyes. And here it is, the very last drill for Snow White. And she's done. Snow White is done. We have finished a princess. Let me move the camera a little bit and I'll show you the whole thing. We created this, guys. She looks really, really great. So colorful, very vibrant. Let me pick up the canvas a little bit and look at the sparkle. She looks great. If you remember, we kind of started with some of these border down pieces. We worked on the greenery, her apple, the flowers. I did some of these background pieces on my own and the outline, and then we just started working the dress all the way up, and today her face. She looks amazing. This canvas looks amazing, and I'm really, really excited for our next princess that we're gonna work on. If you have not voted yet, let me show you. We have Jasmine, or we have Ariel. One of these two we're gonna do next, and I'm excited to get back to it in craft. So go ahead and vote. Keep your eye out for who wins. I will post that over the weekend or early next week, and we'll begin our drill with me in a week. Thank you for watching, crafters. Thank you for crafting with me. Thank you for being on this journey with me and watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, crafters.